It's March 15th, 2018. A woman uploads a cover of a song by Sandy and Junior to YouTube. Sandy and Junior are one of the most beloved pop acts in Brazilian music history. A brother and sister duo who were genuinely huge. And as far as I know, most Brazilians of a certain age grew up listening and watching them on telly.
Ao vivo e colorido, Sandy Junior!
It's a 3-minute video, just her in front of a wall, singing along. There's nothing particularly special about it in terms of production, but at one point, she really goes for this high note. And her face kind of freezes into this expression that looks somewhere between fully focused and slightly terrified, completely unaware of how funny it comes across. A few seconds of footage that passed completely unnoticed at the time. At some point after the video goes up, someone clips those few seconds and turns them into a GIF. It starts circulating online as a reaction image, specifically for moments of shock, disbelief, things you didn't see coming. From there, it spreads and keeps spreading until by around 2025, it's being used by hundreds of thousands of people across multiple platforms and multiple countries, often with a pink filter over it. Most of the people using it have never watched the original video, let alone know who she is. They just know the face. The young woman behind the meme is Aline Borel dos Santos, from a coastal town in the state of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. She started posting videos around 2014, as we can see from one of her YouTube channels. Her content never really fit into one box, which was probably part of why people liked her.
Gostaria de contar pouquinho da história do meu cabelo.
In a second YouTube channel, she describes herself as a singer and composer. She sang gospel,
Deus, meu Deus.
Brazilian funk,
Sou revoltado sim, não quero mais o sofrimento, sou revoltado sim.
and sometimes a combination of both.
Essa rima é pro Senhor que transformou a minha vida com o teu grande amor. Se liga lá minha rima, essa rima é pro Senhor que transformou.
And most of her original songs came with social criticism, such as the difficult life in the favelas, inequality, children growing up in poverty, as well as faith as the thing that keeps you standing when everything else is trying to knock you down. She was also clever and funny about how she got people to listen. A song titled "I'm Going to Smoke Weed" sounds like exactly what you'd expect, until you actually listen to it and realize it has nothing to do with drugs and everything to do with survival, resilience, and God.
Sei que eu tenho que lutar para conseguir o que eu quero. Pode me chamar de louco revoltado. Tem que lidar com os problemas, isso não é fácil.
That was her trick. Grab your attention with something unexpected, then say something real once she had it. She also had Q&A videos on her channel, where someone off-camera would read out questions her followers had left in the comments, and those were just as popular.
De onde vem sua inspiração? As letras?
Vem da realidade, das coisas que eu vejo na favela.
What comes across in every single video, regardless of what she's actually talking about, is just how completely unguarded she is. Whatever she's feeling is written all over her face. She laughs when something's funny, gets serious when she means something,
Ontem passei uma situação de perigo. Tava na rua, o homem me chamou pra ir pra casa dele, né? Aí eu fui. Aí eu cheguei lá, era um container. Não era nem casa, né? Era um lugar abandonado, assim, um container. Ele me deu água, ele me ofereceu comida e queria fazer saliência comigo, né? Aí eu falei pra ele que não, né? Que ele era um homem bem mais velho do que eu. Aí eu vi que era muito perigoso ficar na rua.
and never really seems to filter herself for the camera. And as more people start recognizing her online, things slowly begin to grow from there. She gets invited onto a television program. Her Instagram climbs to around 27,000 followers, and eventually, a manager gets involved, with his IG account linked in her bio. By that point, she's become a genuine internet personality by any reasonable measure. But, in fact, there are essentially two completely separate groups of people who know Aline. There is her actual audience, Brazilian, relatively small, people who had watched her videos and felt genuinely connected to her. And then there is the global internet, which knows only the GIF and nothing else. These two groups exist in total parallel. The last video Aline uploads during this first phase of her online life goes up on April 5th, 2019. It's a fan Q&A, the format she'd done before. It's warm and funny and completely ordinary. Nothing about it suggests it's a goodbye or that anything is wrong. It's just another video. However, 12 days later, a post goes up on her Instagram account. It's written in third person, by someone close to her, most likely her manager, or a member of her family who had access to the account. It reads, "As many of you know, Aline has suffered from depression for several years, undergoes psychiatric treatment, and depends on medication to stay well. When she returned to social media, she had already been through relapses but was in good health. However, depression is cruel, and she had a serious relapse that led to an episode. Aline does not use any type of drug, let that be clear. Because of this, Aline will be stepping away from social media for an indefinite period, until her family allows otherwise. Even though she is an adult, her illness makes her dependent on their support. The internet has its pros and cons, and you need to be well to handle everything. This break will be great for Aline's health. Her well-being is the family's focus right now. She is okay, but she really needs care. Those of us who are helping Aline manage her social media will no longer have access, but we will continue to fully support her. Alina knows about all the love and support you've shown her. I just ask that you continue keeping her in your thoughts. She's a genuinely kind person who's living with a cruel and devastating illness. The money raised for the braids she so wanted will be deposited in her sister's account, who will be responsible for her during this phase. Thank you all for the love. I hope that one day she returns to social media, completely well and healthy." The fact that whoever wrote this felt the need to explicitly state she doesn't use drugs tells you something about what some people had been saying. After the Instagram post in April 2019, the managed account goes quiet. The YouTube channel, same. If you were only following those, you'd assume she'd simply stepped away. Unless you had her on Facebook. Aline never fully disappeared. I mean, yeah, she did take a break from social media, but not as long as some people thought. Just over a year later, she was back on Facebook, updating her profile picture, staying in touch with people who knew her. But in January 2021, she posts something that reframes the whole silence. She introduces herself again. "Hi everyone, my name is Aline Borrell dos Santos, better known as Aline Borrell from the memes. Today, I'm writing this to ask for help in trying to recover my social media accounts, as I had some health problems and my ex-manager doesn't know my passwords because I was away from social media for a long time. If anyone can share this post so it reaches someone at Instagram or Facebook, I would be very happy and grateful. Thank you, everyone." The YouTube channel comes back to life too. On April 23rd, 2021, she uploads a Shorts, a vertical video titled, "I'm back." She's standing outside, wearing a face mask and singing a gospel song.
Como pode ainda adorar se não tem motivo pra cantar? Abandona esse Deus e morre.
While she said she was back on YouTube, Facebook was where she was most active, regularly uploading singing videos and going live. But on November 23rd, 2021, something begins to change. She goes live outside and tells her followers she's been out selling chocolates on the streets to make a bit of money.
Salve, salve, galera. Aqui é a Lili Borel, entendeu? Tô aqui fazendo meu trabalho, ó, vendendo bicho.
The comments are warm. People are just happy to see her again. The very next day, on November 24th, she goes live once more. But this time, the mood is noticeably different. She tells her followers she's struggling. She's hungry and has no money.
Tô cheio de fome, sem tostão pra comprar salgado, entendeu? Tá brabo aqui.
In the caption, she leaves her bank details. The comments quickly fill with people offering to help and sending whatever they can. From that point on, many of Aline's posts follow a similar pattern. She asks for help, leaves her bank details, sometimes needing food, sometimes just enough money to cover basic expenses. Even so, she never stops doing what she loves. She still sings and chats to people during her live streams, responding to comments as they come in.
Eu fiz 2 músicas em inglês, entendeu? E eu quero sei lá, que vocês ouçam, se gostar, mandam parabéns pra mim.
And throughout it all, the community around her remains genuinely supportive. Then, on February 23rd, 2022, she makes what would turn out to be her final Facebook post. Hi everyone, it's Aline. I need your help. Whoever can help me get a cooker and a fridge. I'm selling chocolates. That was the last thing she ever posted on Facebook. Two months later, on April 20th, 2022, Aline is captured on CCTV riding on the back of a motorcycle behind someone. It's the last time she's ever seen alive. Her body is later found near Dentinho Beach. She had been shot twice in the face. A .38 caliber revolver, believed to be the murder weapon, is recovered by military police near the scene later that same day. Aline was just 28 years old. The civil police immediately open an investigation. Over the following days, a flyer begins circulating online. It carries Aline's photo alongside the words, "Report who killed her." It asks anyone with information about the death of the digital influencer to contact Rio de Janeiro's anonymous tip-off line. In the early stages of the investigation, police considered multiple possible motives. One theory, reported by the Brazilian newspaper O Globo, was that she may have been targeted because of the kind of content she posted online. That theory didn't last long. What investigators eventually concluded painted a very different picture, and in many ways, a far darker one. Because according to police, none of it had anything to do with Aline herself. What they believe happened is that a drug trafficking group operating in a neighborhood of her town in Rio de Janeiro state had been watching for signs that a rival militia was trying to move into the area. So, on April 20th, they approached Aline in the street and showed her a photo of a man they believed was connected to that rival group. She told them she recognized him. They then told Aline that the man in the photo would have to pay her ransom. They convinced her that, simply by recognizing him, she'd become caught up in the dispute between the two groups, and that he now had to come forward and sort things out on her behalf. According to investigators, it was a story they made up to get her to go with them. Exactly what they said to persuade her to get onto the motorcycle isn't entirely clear, but that's what's been reported. And whatever they told her, it worked. Aline had no reason to believe she was in any danger, so she got onto the back of the motorcycle. According to the police report, Aline recognized the man because she knew almost everyone in the neighborhood. That was entirely in keeping with who she was. But to these men, her answer confirmed what they already believed. In their eyes, recognizing the man meant she was connected to him. It meant she was an informant passing information to the rival militia. The investigation would later make it clear that Aline had no connection to either side. But by then, they'd already made up their minds. By June 9th, 2022, civil police had concluded their investigation and identified 4 suspects. All 4 were charged with triple qualified homicide, meaning the crime meets 3 separate aggravating conditions. In this case, the treachery of the lure, the impossibility of her defending herself, and the motive behind it, which is killing someone based on a false suspicion to protect criminal territory. According to police, Ricardo Santos Oliveira was the man who fired the shots that killed Aline. And what's almost unbelievable is that by the time the warrants were issued, all 4 men were already serving prison sentences for drug trafficking in the same town. Their criminal records included drug trafficking, criminal association, homicide, robbery, and illegal possession of firearms. Police also carried out 6 search warrants at addresses linked to the suspects in the same neighborhood, recovering one of the motorcycles used to take Aline to the place where she was killed. Now, while researching Aline's story, I came across something on her X account. She wasn't hugely active on there, especially compared to her other social media, but after scrolling back far enough, I found a post from April 16th, 2019. It was posted by someone called Helen, who at the time was helping her manager Pedro run her accounts. It reads, "Hi everyone, this is Helen. I'm helping Pedro with Aline's social media. Aline's sister has just told me that Aline has disappeared again. Today she was supposed to go to CAPS for a reassessment and a conversation with the professionals to see what's going on. If you know anything about her, please let me know here or by email. Any news and I'll update you." A couple of things stood out to me there. The first was CAPS. I looked it up, and it's Brazil's public community mental health service, where people with ongoing mental health conditions receive treatment, therapy, and medication. Aline's family publicly confirmed that she had depression. That's the only condition they've ever confirmed. But after reading through countless comments about her case, watching her videos, and seeing how fragmented parts of her life had become, I did quietly wonder whether there might have been more going on. Nothing beyond depression has ever been confirmed by anyone close to her, and it's not for us to speculate. But when there's no clear explanation for a tragedy like this, it's only natural for people to try to make sense of it. I mention all of this because, while trying to piece together the timeline of events and retrace Aline's final days, I went back to the last video uploaded to her YouTube channel. It was posted on April 16th, 2022, just 5 days before her death. The video is simply titled, "Aline Chatting with Fans." In it, she tells her followers that she misses them. She explains that she's been having problems with her phone and is currently without Facebook.
Quero dizer pra vocês que eu tô com muita saudade. Felizmente eu tive probleminha no meu celular, tô com outro celular, tô com Facebook. Tô sem Facebook, né?
At one point, she says she needs help too, first from God, and secondly, from her fans.
Eu também preciso de ajuda também, entendeu? Primeiramente, daquele lá de cima, né? E segundo, de vocês aí, peço o apoio de vocês, entendeu? E é isso, gente.
She tells everyone to take care of themselves, saying that God is always ready to help us, and that whatever God wants, everything will work out.
Se cuida, galera, se cuida. Deus tá sempre pronto a nos ajudar, né? E seja o que Deus quiser, e vai dar tudo certo.
Later in the video, she tells them that they're in her heart, saying that she really loves them and that the love and affection she has for her followers is very strong.
Vocês estão aqui no meu coraçãozinho, sabe? No fundo do meu coração, vocês sabem que eu gosto muito de vocês, né? O amor, o carinho que eu tenho por vocês é muito grande.
After her death, many people returned to that video and filled the comments, saying it felt like a goodbye. Whether Aline sensed that something was wrong, or whether she had any idea of what was about to happen, we'll never know.
Tchau. Beijo pra vocês, hein?